Performance Painting. We're hiring professional painters and trainees who are friendly and have an eagerness to learn and grow. If you don't take yourself too seriously, but do take your profession seriously, you're likely to be a good fit here. Great pay, paid time off, medical, dental, and a company-matched 401k are just a few of the benefits waiting for you at Performance Painting. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting, quality coatings applied with pride.
Equal opportunity employer.
Captain Kevin Favor here, and do you store your boat and boat trailer separately? If so, I want to tell you about Stack'em Storage. They store your boat trailer in a secure warehouse out of the elements, and here's the cool thing. Stack'em Storage will pick up your trailer from you, store it in a secure warehouse, do a 5-point inspection, and deliver it back to you where and when you need it. Call Captain Pat at 962-9605. Use code FAVOR, that's F-A-V-E-R, and get a $50 gift card to Strike Zone. Visit stackmstorage.com.
As a business owner, it can feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Spot On works with local restaurants to get them set up with the technology needed to stay competitive and made specifically for you. Spot On is a cloud-based point-of-sale system that takes orders and payments, but also addresses labor constraints by increasing efficiencies through handhelds and QR code technology. Call me, Jamie Watson, at 333-4325 or email me at jwatson@spoton.com. I'm here to help.
Estate cleanouts, hoarding cleanouts, old appliances, and even tools. There are tons of reasons why you or someone you know may need expert help clearing space. J-Dog Junk Removal will responsibly help you free up space. That means when they leave your place, it looks better. Whether it's you or a loved one that needs one type of clean out at your home, trust the veterans at J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran owned and operated. Call 844-GET-JDOG or visit jdog.com.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here. Let me tell you, I hear from people all the time who are having tax problems. Don't be afraid to go to the mailbox. If avoided, your tax issue will only get worse. If you owe the IRS but you can't pay, call my friends at Accelerated Tax Solutions. Whatever your issue, you want someone who's not afraid of the IRS. Call today to speak or meet with a professional with a clear tax solution for you. Accelerate your tax solution with Accelerated Tax Solutions.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. The sports world keeps spinning and the local conversation continues. Now, Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Tuesday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, the late night edition of Hacker After Dark. Of course, every Tuesday night, 10 to midnight, right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. With Dylan Denmark, the hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us as we're here to talk sports for the next 2 hours. And quite frankly, I think a lot of us could use sports as maybe a distraction of some of the events today. Certainly, we all understand and realize what happened out there in the state of Texas. I couldn't stop watching it, to be honest with you. It's horrible. I have a 3-year-old son, and I just hugged him a little more than I normally do. So we're going to use sports as a little bit of a distraction this evening, and we are certainly glad you are with us. I will tell you we are streaming, as we always are, on Hacker After Dark, the 1010XL YouTube channel. Go to 1010XL on YouTube. Like and subscribe to be notified every time Hacker After Dark hits the airwaves. You can also go to my own personal Twitter, at Ryan Green 1010XL. That's at Ryan Green 1010XL. Do you realize, ladies and gentlemen, we are inside of 8 weeks until the Jacksonville Jaguars report to training camp 2022. And what do we always do on shows that I'm on? Inside of 8 weeks, there's 8 divisions in the National Football League. We start division previews. We will begin tonight with the AFC East. We will go to correspondents in Buffalo, Miami, New York, and New England through the rest of the week, and we will begin with the division champions in the AFC East, my friend Sal Capaccio, WGR Radio in Buffalo and the Bills Radio Network. He will join us in about 30 minutes to talk about the Buffalo Bills. Have they gotten over 13 seconds to go at Arrowhead, blowing that lead in the AFC divisional playoff? They had an interesting offseason. They paid Stephon Diggs. They bring in Jamison Crowder. They bring in Von Miller. They draft Kyrie Elam. They draft James Cook. Good offseason on paper. We'll talk about Buffalo with Sal Capaccio coming up in about a half an hour. In the 11 o'clock hour, right about 11:15. Very cool local story, Denmark, that you're all fired up about. The Baldwin girls softball team. We always like to highlight cool stories in the high school world here in Northeast Florida. Head coach Jennifer Shields of Baldwin Softball will join us as they are in the Final Four tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
They will play Calvary Christian. Denmark, you're actually going down to the Orlando area tomorrow afternoon to watch that.
Yeah, 2 o'clock Claremont Calvary Christian. Let's hope we can get the win, and state championship game is Thursday at 7.
Well, let's hope Baldwin can not only win tomorrow, but win on Thursday and bring a state title back to Northeast Florida. So Coach Jennifer Shields of Baldwin in the 11 o'clock hour. And my friend Zig Fracassi, you hear him on Sirius XM NFL Radio, also Sirius XM NHL Radio, as we will talk Lightning and Jaguars. How about the Lightning? Last night, sweeping the Florida Panthers, their 10th straight playoff series win in the NHL playoffs, trying to become the first team since the Islanders 40 years ago to win back-to-back-to-back Stanley Cups. So Zig Fracassi of Sirius XM NHL and NFL Radio will be coming up around 11:35 this evening. As always on Hacker After Dark, we like to give you the big deal of the night. Tonight's big deal of the night is something I thought about a little bit yesterday, but it really stands to reason today. As I was looking at the over-under win totals for college football programs coming into the 2022 season, and I looked at Florida, and I looked at LSU, and I looked at Miami, and then you tend to look at the bigger programs like Notre Dame, Southern Cal, Oklahoma. You realize something off the bat there. Think about those schools I just mentioned. I'll repeat them again. Florida, LSU, Miami, Southern Cal, Oklahoma, and Notre Dame. You can even throw Oregon in there if you like. What do all those programs have in common? Well, a few things. They're all very good in the game of college football. They're all unbelievably good with tradition. They win a lot of games. They win a lot of conference championships. But every one of those teams I just mentioned has a first-year head coach. Are you kidding me? Good grief. Just Notre Dame, Southern Cal, and Oklahoma. To think that those blue bloods of college football all have first-year head coaches. And then you come down to our neck of the woods with Miami, Florida, and LSU. Like I said, you could include Oregon in there if you like. Absolutely incredible. The established, really good college football programs that are bringing in first-year head coaches this year. Which that leads the mind to wander. And I'll throw this out on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. You can also hit me up on the phone lines if you so choose, 641-1010. Who has the most pressure of those first-year head coaches? You think about Billy Napier at Florida, Mario Cristobal at Miami, Brian Kelly at LSU, Brent Venables at Oklahoma, Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame, Lincoln Riley at Southern Cal. And Denmark and I were talking about this before the show, kind of gathering our thoughts. It's what Denmark and I do here in the evening. We have a little fellowship. We have a little camaraderie as we get going for Hacker After Dark. And as I was talking out loud, I started to think, yeah, you could probably rank them as to who has the most pressure. Every one of them. Every one of them has pressure. Because every one of those guys, their fan base expects to win. And their fan base expects to win quickly. Gator fan, you know what you're going to do. It's all sunshine and rainbows right now. I've been telling you, wait till you go 8-4 or 7-5. And it won't be Billy Napier's fault. I think Billy Napier is a very good coach. I think he's going to do great things at Florida. I don't think those great things are going to happen in 2022. But you know as well as I do, Gator fan, when you go 7-5 this year, you're not going to be happy with Billy Napier. Which will be a shame. Because, again, he's inheriting a bad situation. He's got some good pieces, don't get me wrong. 22 for 22, I think the Gators can play with a lot of teams. If you just take the starting 11 on offense and starting 11 on defense. Where Florida's problem is in players 25 through 60. They don't have the depth that they normally do, and they certainly don't have the depth of the Georgias, the Alabamas, the A&Ms. Heck, I'm not sure they have the depth of the Utahs or the Kentuckys we're going to see in the first month. You go to Coral Gables, Mario Cristobal, year number 1. Hurricane fan, you know what you're going to do as well. Very similar to Billy Napier. It's all sunshine and rainbows in Coral Gables. Your schedule's terrible. You play 3 awful teams in the first month of the year. Awful. And you play A&M, which is a very good team. But schedule-wise, Miami should have no problem winning 8, maybe even 9 games. Anything under 8 games, that's going to be a disappointment in year number 1. So there's pressure on Cristobal to perform pretty quick, based really entirely on the fact that your schedule is garbage. It is. Look at your first month and tell me that's not a garbage schedule Miami has. LSU, Brian Kelly, enough said there. The fake Southern accent, the weird recruiting stuff. He kind of put himself behind the 8 ball already with all that nonsense. LSU is like Florida. Starter for starter, they're probably all right. They have a depth issue as well. What Florida is in the SEC East, LSU is in the West. Brian Kelly will do a good job there. It probably will not be in 2022. To me, they're not going to be able to compete this year with Alabama or A&M. I'm not even sure they compete with Auburn. We'll see. You then go outside our little area in the Southeast. Oklahoma's bringing in Brent Venables. Great coordinator. Terrific defensive coordinator. The guy's never been a head coach. And his first head coaching gig is with the Oklahoma Sooners. That could blow up pretty quick. Pressure on Brent Venables to perform well, to prove the naysayers wrong about his first head coaching gig being with a program like Oklahoma. You could really say the same thing about Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame. Some people question that hire. A lot of pressure on Freeman to get out of the gates quick. Keep in mind, they open with Ohio State. It could be really ugly really quick in South Bend. Everybody's great on May 24th. When those games start being played in September, things can change very quickly. Everybody has pressure, but to me, if I were to rank them, I would say Lincoln Riley probably has the most, and I'll tell you why. Southern Cal paid him a ton of money. A ton of money. Southern Cal went out and they got an established college coach with a winning pedigree, and they paid him a ton. And they are expecting to compete in the Pac-12 very, very soon with Lincoln Riley. And if he does not perform in 2022, there will be a lot of angry people in Los Angeles. But I just think it's very, very interesting when you look at the amount of talented programs, unbelievably successful programs in college football that are entering a new tenure with a brand new head coach. And every one of them, every head coach I mentioned, Lincoln Riley, Marcus Freeman, Brent Venables, Billy Napier, Brian Kelly, Mario Cristobal, all have a fair amount or a significant amount of pressure on them in year number one based on expectations, based on their respective fan bases, or based on the contract they were given to lead said program. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Very rarely do you have six schools like that, as good as they are, with first-year head coaches. And don't think for 1 second they won't be compared to one another. Billy Napier and Brian Kelly in particular, they're in the same conference, are linked at the hip. There are a lot of people in Louisiana that wanted Billy Napier at LSU. Billy Napier came to Florida. So they will be looked at, and obviously they play each other in October. Billy Napier versus Brian Kelly, that's always going to be a thing. Lincoln Riley, Marcus Freeman, same thing. USC Notre Dame with that rivalry. They're on the same timeline now. How did Southern Cal do with their hire compared to how Notre Dame did with their hire? Brent Venables, yeah. Alma mater, I get it. First head coaching gig. Comes at Oklahoma. Whew. And then Mario Cristobal, Miami fans, you think he's the savior. Maybe he is. Maybe he is the savior. I think he's going to do a great job. I think Miami fans, you should be very, very excited. But with that excitement does come expectation. You better win. And if you don't win, that excitement will wane pretty quickly. 641-1010, hit us up on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You are more than welcome to do that. NBA playoffs tonight. Western Conference Finals, Game 4, Golden State going for the sweep. They lead 3-0. Of course, we know in the history of the NBA, no team has ever come back down 0-3 in a series. Dallas does lead Game 4 by 15 at halftime, 62-47. Luka Doncic certainly doing his thing. 13 points for Luka. He's already got 9 rebounds as well. Steph Curry being held sort of in check. 15 first half points. And, well, actually, in fact, Steph Curry's the one guy that's keeping Golden State in this. Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole doing very little. Dallas up 15 at halftime. We'll keep you updated. Coming up next, into the world of the National Football League. Jaguars were back on the field for OTAs today. I don't know if CBS Sports Denmark was listening to our program last night.
Oh, they definitely were.
I know we're big in the New York area where they put these stories together. Did we not do quarterback head coaching duos last night?
Yes, we did.
CBS Sports earlier today did the same exact thing, but to their credit, they actually advanced the story a little bit. Do you realize that there are 16 NFL teams that will have different quarterback head coaching combos week 1 this year than the final week last year? Think about that. Half the league has at least one new starting quarterback or head coach this season than they did week 18 last season. They ranked them 1 to 16. You'll be pretty interested where Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence came in. That's next on Hacker After Dark.
Proud to serve sports radio to those who proudly protect our country. 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. That looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. The Dailies Walk-Off Charities Golf Classic is right around the corner. June 6th at Jacksonville Golf and Country Club. And the online auction has gotten great response. So go to walkoffcharities.com right now and bid on amazing auction items like a Tiger Woods signed golf bag, a trip to Canton for Tony Baselli's induction and the ball game, and tickets to the private party afterwards. There's so much going on. Go to walkoffcharities.com and bid now and help kids in underserved areas of Jacksonville play baseball.
With the first pick in the 2022 draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Duck Duck Rooter, the best plumbing and septic company in Florida.
Congratulations, Duck Duck Rooter. So tell us, how does it feel to be picked number one?
Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services is excited to announce we're a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When you need help tackling any type of plumbing or septic issue, call our team of first-round draft picks for the win. DuckDuckRooter.com. That's DuckDuckRooter.com.
Hey, Scarline here for Claude Nolan Cadillac, and I have some great news. Vehicles are on the way. That's right. You can expect even more inventory at Claude Nolan Cadillac. Take my suggestion because there is demand. Visit my friends at Claude Nolan and claim the Cadillac you want before it comes in. That way, when it arrives, it's yours. I'm still loving my CT5, and you can too. So get down to Claude Nolan Cadillac today and tell them Hayes sent you. Begin your lasting relationship at Claude Nolan Cadillac off JTB and Southside.
Hacker here for my friends at Xfinity. Introducing an all-new way to save with Xfinity. It's the 3-for-1 bundle. Get unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile, all for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. That's an unbelievable value. And now you can also get Xfinity Internet. You can get unlimited data, Wi-Fi equipment, and a free Flex 4K streaming box included. With a 2-year rate guarantee and no-term contract, all for just $30 per month when you add Xfinity Mobile line plan at regular rates. This is a limited time offer. Restrictions apply. It requires paperless billing and auto pay. New fast internet, 300 megabit per second, customers only. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity Internet after 24 months. Regular rates apply to all services and devices. Go to Xfinity.com/3for1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today.
You don't get to be the league's all-time leading rusher without feeling some pain.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith knows joint pain, and he also knows the old treatments aren't the only treatments. Today, there's a natural alternative to drugs and surgery. It's biologic therapies from QC Kinetics.
I'm talking regenerative solutions that encourage your body to heal and repair itself.
Do you have pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, lower back? Want to get your life back? The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics can help.
Call to learn more about this exciting natural way to deal with chronic joint pain.
Don't put it off. Call QC Kinetics. Restorative regenerative solutions with no downtime and lasting results.
Don't let your joint pain keep you from doing the things you love. There's a new natural solution that patients are raving about.
QC Kinetics.
Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. QC Kinetics 274-5522.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach.
If you have a family member who is active duty, now is the time to call Zero Res. Hicken here. Right now, get a 20% military discount. That's 20% off carpet cleaning, tile and grout, upholstery, and oriental rugs. Zero Res, man. Spell it forward or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org.
This Memorial Day, Navy Mutual would like to salute Pat Tillman as our hero in sports. Tillman famously turned down a multi-million-dollar contract from Arizona to enlist as a U.S. Army Ranger. One of the most iconic athletes in professional sports, Tillman earned the Silver Star and a Purple Heart.
This is Brandon with North Florida Epoxy Floors. Our product includes a moisture vapor barrier, essential in Florida, so your new epoxy floor looks great and is warranted with no fine print. Get a free estimate at northfloridaepoxyfloors.com.
1010XL salutes the high school scholar athlete of the week. Wednesdays on the Frangie Show. Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Tuesday night in the city of Jacksonville. We're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM. So in the National Football League, amazingly enough, there are still some pretty interesting free agents that are available that have not been signed yet. Now, most of these guys at this point are just waiting for training camp to see injuries pile up, to see what teams get desperate. Maybe you'll spend a little more money. But you would think, here we are almost at the end of May, OTAs all over the league going on. Mini camps are 2 weeks away. What free agents are still available? Well, funny you should ask, because I got a list of the top 10. Akeem Hicks, Chicago defensive lineman. It's a good player. Was a really good player for the Bears. He's still available. How about offensive lineman Dwayne Brown? Guy's been an established tackle in this league for years. He's still available. Rob Gronkowski's an interesting one. You thought, and you still think, at least I do, that Gronk is absolutely going to be in Tampa Bay with the Buccaneers. We don't know that yet. He hasn't officially come out and said anything. I thought when Tom Brady announced he was coming back, that was when Gronk would announce he's coming back. That is not the case yet. As it stands right now, Gronk is still on the street as a free agent. As is Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham just sitting out there. Now keep in mind, he had an ACL in the Super Bowl. So he's only 3 months removed from a torn ACL. But what team is going to take a shot on Odell Beckham Jr.? Jaguar fans, I see social media. I know some of you would love Odell Beckham in a Jaguar uniform. That's not going to happen for a lot of reasons. Primarily, Odell Beckham's going to want to win. And Jacksonville is probably not poised to win very much in 2022. And also, when you sign all that money to Christian Kirk and Zay Jones, you're just simply not going to bring in a guy like Odell Beckham. But here we are on May 24th, and a talent like Odell Beckham Jr. is still sitting out there. Eric Fisher, the number 1 pick in the draft in 2013. Remember him? He was taken number 1. The Jaguars took a guy named Luke Jokel, number 2. Worked out much better for Kansas City. Fisher spent last year in Indianapolis. He is still available. Dante Hightower, the linebacker for the Patriots, still available as well. So there are a lot of guys that have not signed. There are a lot of guys that are still available. And there are a lot of guys that can help football teams here in 2022. All those guys are veterans. None of those guys, I would imagine, want to go through the OTAs, want to go through the mandatory minicamp. So I would anticipate a lot of the guys I just mentioned will sign in mid to late July so they don't have to go through a lot of the off-season programs.
This just in on Hacker After Dark.
So Florida and South Carolina was in a single elimination game in the SEC tournament for baseball, and Florida just walked it off. They had runners at second and third with 1 out. There was a line drive to center field. The ball was thrown home. The ball was there. The tag was not. Safe. Ball game.
So the Gators advance in Hoover. They beat South Carolina. That was a 7-10 matchup. Denmark, do we know what that means bracket-wise for Florida? Who they will end up playing tomorrow or Thursday, I guess?
I'm waiting to see because they just reviewed it and they called him safe. So I'll let you know in just a moment when they show the bracket.
All right, there you go. This just in on Hacker After Dark. That has a very familiar ring to it. Where have I heard something like that before? Huh.
Have you worked here before?
I kind of like that. This just in on Hacker After Dark. Very good. So congratulations to Florida. Looks like they have won over South Carolina on a walk-off and extras, and it looks like they will advance in the SEC tournament. All right, CBSSports.com earlier today. I was surprised by this number, quite frankly. Now, what we did last night on Hacker After Dark is we talked about the first-year head coaches. There are 9 of them. And compared the first-year head coaches, what they're inheriting at the quarterback position. CBS went a little further. I believe Cody Benjamin did this. I'll try to get Cody on to talk about this later in the week. 16 NFL teams. Half the league. Half of the league. That's a crazy number. Has at least one new person as either the starting quarterback or the head coach. Half the league. At least the new quarterback or the new head coach. Very surprising, that much turnover. And they ranked them 1 to 16. I'll tell you where Jacksonville is in a moment. Let me tell you the teams that are above Jacksonville. And you can't really argue with any of this. Or actually check that. I think there's one you can argue with, and we will argue that momentarily. Number 1, of course, is Tampa Bay. Tom Brady, Todd Bowles. You can't argue with that. Number 2, Denver, likewise. You got a Hall of Famer in Russell Wilson with Nathaniel Hackett. Yeah, absolutely. Tampa Bay and Denver should be ranked 1 and 2 on this list. At number 3, Deshaun Watson and Kevin Stefanski. Deshaun Watson was a great player in Houston. Great player. Has not played competitive football in 18 months. We don't know what Deshaun Watson's going to look like. We don't know when Deshaun Watson's going to play. I don't know if I would have them ranked that high. I like Deshaun Watson as a player, obviously. Even though the guy's got 2 ACL injuries in his past, I still like everything about his game. Or I liked everything about his game. But he has not played competitive football in a long time. We'll see on that one. Coming in at number 4, the Colts. Frank Reich, Matt Ryan. Yeah, okay. I'm with you. Matt Ryan very likely will end up in Canton, Ohio one day. Frank Reich has proven himself to be a terrific head coach. Although with Indianapolis, and I made this point when that happened, they've had 5 different starting quarterbacks in the last 5 years. Think about that for a second. You go from Andrew Luck to Jacoby Brissett to Phillip Rivers to Carson Wentz to Matt Ryan. The 5th starting quarterback for Indianapolis in the last 5 years. But Matt Ryan's a terrific player. Frank Reich's a terrific coach. At number 5 is where I think the argument can be. Keep in mind, there's 16 of these scenarios around the league. CBS Sports has Kirk Cousins and Kevin O'Connell as number 5. I would take Kirk Cousins over Trevor Lawrence. I would. And Jaguar fans, I know. You all think Trevor Lawrence is better than Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins would be a fascinating case study sometime as to why people think he sucks. Because I don't have the answer for you. Maybe I'm too much of a statistician. Maybe I'm too much of a fantasy football geek. But I bet you would be stunned if you knew Kirk Cousins' numbers. Kirk Cousins, in the National Football League, or at least since he arrived in Minnesota, for 4 years has thrown 16,000 yards, 124 touchdowns, and 36 picks. 124 touchdowns to only 36 picks, completing 68% of his passes. Last year, Kirk Cousins threw for 4,200 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. In 2020, Kirk Cousins threw for 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns, 13 picks. I don't understand why so many people think Kirk Cousins is bad. He has not had great postseason success, but he's a good player. My issue with them being at number 5 on this list is I don't know what to make of Kevin O'Connell. The guy was the coordinator behind Sean McVay. How much did he really do? I don't know. I was told that was Sean McVay's offense. I guess we'll find out pretty quick how innovative Kevin O'Connell is there in Minnesota. Number 6, Las Vegas. I agree they should be above Jacksonville. That's Derek Carr and Josh McDaniels. Oh, I got just ripped by Jaguar fans last week. Hacker, how can you say Derek Carr is better than Trevor Lawrence? Well, it was easy. Because he is better than Trevor Lawrence right now. Will he be better than Trevor Lawrence after the 2022 season? I don't know. I hope not. But if I'm taking quarterbacks right now based on what I saw last season, how do you not take Derek Carr? 23 touchdowns, 14 picks last year. 27 touchdowns, 9 picks the year before. He threw for 4,800 yards last year, and he gets Devontae Adams. 4,800 yards without Devontae Adams. What's he going to do with Devontae Adams? Josh McDaniels? We'll see. But I like Derek Carr. But the point of this exercise is, of 16 that are ranked, the Jaguars came in at number 7. CBS Sports has Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson. 7 on this list. Here's what they say. Are you surprised they're so high? Try to remember how unanimously beloved Lawrence was coming out of college just 1 year ago. Tools-wise, he's all there, and now he's got a coach in Peterson who's proven he can get the best out of young quarterbacks and or rosters recovering from broken locker rooms. The growing pains are inevitable, but the match makes a lot of sense on paper. That's one thing with Doug Peterson that at least I haven't talked a lot about that I think is a really good point. Peterson inherited that Philadelphia team after Chip Kelly. And as bad as the Chip Kelly situation ended in Philadelphia, that was when Peterson got that job. So Doug Peterson has a little resume, has a little experience in inheriting programs or organizations that end bad with one guy, and he turned Philadelphia around pretty quick. Hopefully he can do that here in Jacksonville. The other teams on this list, Kenny Pickett and Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh, number 8. Trey Lance, Kyle Shanahan, number 9 in San Francisco. Tua and Mike McDaniel, number 10. Wow. It's kind of indicting on Tua. Justin Fields, Matt Eberflus in Chicago comes in at 11. Carson Wentz and Ron Rivera in Washington at 12. Daniel Jones, Brian Dable with the Giants at 13. Geno Smith, I really hope he's not the starting quarterback in Seattle. They got to start Drew Lock, don't they? They got Geno Smith and Pete Carroll at 14. Marcus Mariota, Arthur Smith in Atlanta at 15. And rounding it out, Davis Mills and Lovie Smith in Houston at number 16. But the bottom line is, again, half the league has at least one new individual as either their starting quarterback or their head coach. That is massive, massive turnover. We are 8 weeks before the Jaguars begin training camp. We start our NFL division previews tonight. We will start in the AFC East. We will go to Buffalo. We will go to Miami. We will go to New England. And we will go to the New York Jets the remainder of the week. We kick it off tonight in Buffalo. Sal Capaccio, WGR Radio and the Bills Radio Network. Have they recovered from the loss in Kansas City? What about Von Miller? We'll talk Buffalo Bills next on Hacker After Dark.
What gets better around lunchtime?
The voice of reason.
XL Primetime.
I know, right?
Josie, Matt, Leon, and Mia.
Can I get an amen?
Amen. Lunch, friends, and sports talk. Weekdays noon to 3 on 1010XL.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Business owner, entrepreneur, CEO. Get expert help working on your business. Florida State University's Jim Moran Institute in the College of Business is now accepting applications for the Jacksonville Small Business Executive Program. It's designed to help you think differently, to become more efficient in running your business, all at no cost. Classes meet once a month starting mid-August. Find out if you're eligible and apply before July 5th at jmi.fsu.edu. jmi.fsu.edu.
Hicken here for Roof It Right. You know the drill. Hey, that's our show. Don't let anyone touch your roof until you got a quote from my friends at Roof It Right. Storm season right around the corner. Get prepared now with an inspection from Jacksonville's Master Elite Roofer and sleep easy, knowing your home is protected by the area's best materials and best warranties. There's a lot of roofers here in town. Roof It Right is the company I trust. Schedule your estimates today at roofitRightFL.com. That's roofitRightFL.com. And see why your friends and neighbors say, Roof It Right, so you can sleep at night.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey for Accelerated Tax Solutions. Who do you trust when dealing with the IRS? You can't trust them to do things right by you. You need a reliable advocate, a real team of local experts on your side, led by attorneys, a group with leadership, having combined 35 plus years of experience helping people just like you resolve their tax issues. Don't wait. Call Accelerated Tax Solutions today. You can trust my friends. That's Accelerated Tax Solutions. Accelerate your tax solutions with Accelerated Tax Solutions.
Are you ready to play this summer? Come check out the Y. The First Coast YMCA is not only your home for health and wellness, it's also a place for the kids to explore, to learn new things, and to expand the limits of their imaginations. At the Y Summer Camp, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, and outdoor games. Space is limited, and registration is now open. Visit fcymca.org and search for summer camps. See you at the Y.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. What's better than beer? Cold beer. Put your company logo on a custom koozie. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach.
Beaches Jewelry and Pawn is ready to help. If you need extra cash or a quick loan, Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash in hand. They also love to buy items of value. They need gold, silver coins, and flatware, jewelry, guitars, and of course, guns.
It's a unique gift idea, and it's perfect to add some fun to your work environment. Mystic Cornhole Company builds customized high-quality boards right here in Jacks. Visit their shop on Phillips Highway or check out some of their design at mysticcornholecompany.com.
Captain Kevin Favor here, and do you store your boat and boat trailer separately? If so, I want to tell you about Stack'em Storage. They store your boat trailer in a secure warehouse out of the elements, and here's the cool thing. Stack'em Storage will pick up your trailer from you, store it in a secure warehouse, do a 5-point inspection, and deliver it back to you where and when you need it. Call Captain Pat at 962-9605. Use code FAVOR, that's F-A-V-E-R, and get a $50 gift card to Strike Zone. Visit stackmstorage.com.
Hey guys, want to know something? Get regular checkups. That's right. Schedule an appointment with your primary care doctor when something is feeling off. Also, get some exercise. Oh, and by the way, it's okay to take a break and just breathe. Don't know where to start? That's where Millennium Physician Group comes in. Millennium Physician Group now accepting new and same-day patients. Also, your Medicare matters here. Go to millenniumphysician.com to find an office in your neighborhood. Millennium Physician Group, your connection to a healthier life.
Estate cleanouts, hoarding cleanouts, old appliances, and even tools. There are tons of reasons why you or someone you know may need expert help clearing space. J-Dog Junk Removal will responsibly help you free up space. That means when they leave your place, it looks better. Whether it's you or a loved one that needs one type of cleanout at your home, trust the veterans at J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran-owned and operated. Call 844-GET-JDOG or visit jdog.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 24th, 1990, in the Stanley Cup Final, the Oilers beat the Bruins 4-1 for a series win and their 5th cup in 7 years. Now 32 years since they've won it all.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line, brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. It's division previews here on 1010XL. We begin in the AFC East, and you can't talk about the AFC East without bringing up first the defending champions of the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills. And not only did the Bills have a terrific year last year, all they did this offseason is go add Von Miller, among many other offseason items. Let's talk to Sal Capaccio of the Buffalo Bills Radio Network. You hear him on the Bills sidelines, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Sal, how we doing?
I'm pretty good, man, pretty good. I apologize if you hear something in the background. I'm actually taking a little break down here in Florida, actually. Got some golf in this weekend, headed back to Buffalo, so I'm talking to you from the Fort Myers Airport.
Oh, nice. Hopefully the golf game was good, Sal. How'd you shoot them?
You know what? We have a tournament we've done for like 20-something years. I used to live down here in the Sarasota area, and still the same guys. It's grown. We have 24 guys. We play off through 3 days, and I was actually the defending champ. And in this one, it's a crazy story, Ryan. I was 6 down with 5 holes to play, and I came back and played some of the best golf of my life. Parred the last 5 holes, shot a 40 in the back 9, forced a playoff, and lost in the playoff.
That's a guy's trip, man. That is outstanding. You guys do this every year?
Every year. We've been doing it for a long time. It started pretty small, and then one of the guys we play with, unfortunately, died in a motorcycle accident. So we kind of did a little thing in his honor and got his family involved, and it's grown to a lot of other guys. And yeah, my parents still live down here, and I've lived down here. I lived here for 16 years. I went to Syracuse, I'm from Buffalo, went to Syracuse, got a job in radio down in Southwest Florida, lived here for 16 years before moving back to Buffalo 10 years ago. And I come down still every year to take part in this tournament with my buddies. Most are from here, but some of them fly in. Two are actually, they come in from Jacksonville every year.
Wow. Well, Sal, that's awesome, man. Glad you had a good time. Certainly appreciate you taking time out. All right, before your flight back home to Buffalo, let's get into the Buffalo Bills. Sal, we had you on after what I think was one of the most, devastating is probably a good football word. It was a devastating loss for Buffalo. 13 seconds left. We all remember what happened at Arrowhead in January. Sal, has the Buffalo organization got past that loss now 4 months later?
Yeah, I think the organization has. One of the things that's really impressed me about Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott in this era of the Buffalo Bills is how well they compartmentalize things and how well they do go week to week. They don't let things linger, whether that's good or bad, by the way. They don't let, a really big blowout win, carry over and think that, they just go out in the next game and do it. Now, do they lose sometimes? They shouldn't lose, of course. Those things happen to every team, but they've always been kind of really steady. I think the best thing about Sean McDermott, I've always said to people, if I could describe him in one word, it's consistency. And, they're going to be consistent with their messaging. They're not going to overreact. They're not going to do anything and make it about something it shouldn't be. So I think that's the case. But sure, they're always going to be told about it. They're always going to be, reminded of it from the press, the fans, and people like that. I don't think the fans are over it. I think the fans, we still talk about it. We still talk about the media and the radio. 13 seconds, you file 13 seconds away with wide right. You file 13 seconds away with home run throwback in Tennessee. You file 13 seconds away with no goal against the Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cups and Stanley Cup Finals. It's one of those things that will always sit with Buffalo sports fans. So, you'll never, ever get truly over it. It will be a part of your history. But I think the organization has put it in the rearview mirror as far as 2022 is concerned.
What people tend to forget about the 13 seconds and the loss to Kansas City is how unbelievable, and I do mean unbelievable, Josh Allen was in that game. Gabriel Davis in that game. The offense was unstoppable for the Buffalo Bills. Did we see Josh Allen in January, Sal, become that top 5 NFL quarterback that Buffalo hoped they had drafted in the top 10 a few years ago?
I think there was already a debate going in, but now it's cemented itself, I think, Ryan. I think anytime, I'm down here, like I said, with my buddies playing golf, and they're fans of all different teams. They're fans of the Raiders, the Steelers, the Dolphins, whoever. And, I have this discussion with them. I'm like, where would you rank Josh Allen? And just because I want an outsider's view, and even these guys, they follow football and they say, oh, yeah, top 5, top 3, whatever. I think that you'd be hard-pressed. I think if anybody puts him out of there, I think they're trying to do that intentionally. They're being ignorant maybe about it, whatever it is. Maybe they just don't like the guy. But I think he's definitely cemented himself there. And those performances he had, if you go back and look what Josh Allen did in last year's playoffs, counting the 47-17 drubbing of the Patriots, and then in that Kansas City game, he had the greatest statistical playoff performances in total playoff than in any quarterback in NFL history. And he's, I think, a superstar in this league now. It's a big reason why the league wants him. I think in that national showcase game to start off the season, Week 1 at LA, to open the season in LA against the Rams at SoFi. So yeah, I think we're finally there after wandering through the wilderness of 20 plus years of looking for a quarterback. Not only the Bills found one, but they now have one of the best in the league.
Sal Capaccio, the Buffalo Bills radio network. He is the Bills sideline reporter, among many other duties he has. He's with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Sal, on the offensive side of the ball, along with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs gets a big deal. this offseason. We mentioned Gabriel Davis and what he brought to the table in that game last year. Cole Beasley has moved on. How has the offense come together this offseason?
Yeah, it's a really good question because, it's clearly now going to be, I think, Diggs and Davis as the number one and number two. And last year, it wasn't really Gabriel Davis, but Emmanuel Sanders most of the year. And then Davis came on, and towards the end of the year, he did what he did. And we also what he did in the Kansas City game. And I think he's going to be really, really good in this league. But, they've been kind of searching for maybe that extra pass catcher. Here's what's funny to me, Ryan. Like, I've been trying to train people on the radio, if you will, to teach them, what I think the Bills are doing. Because I think we have to kind of strip away the traditional wide receiver, tight end, running back type of titles for what the Bills are doing. I think the Bills are kind of building a new wave type of offense here where it's just about pass catchers. You might as well just put PC next to all their names, whether that's Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis, because look who they have now at tight end. Dawson Knox and O.J. Howard. I think they're going to run a lot of two tight end sets, but those two tight ends aren't going to have their hand in the dirt. They're going to create mismatches. They're going to try and get them in coverage situations to dictate what the defense has to do. And then they go out and they draft James Cook, one of the best pass-catching tight ends in the running backs in the entire draft. And let's remember, that was after they thought they signed J.D. McKissick away from the Washington Commanders. They were searching for a guy to have that type of pass-catching ability out of the backfield. Now, as far as Cole Beasley's concerned, he's moved on. They went out and signed Jamison Crowder. He's a really good slot receiver. They brought back Isaiah McKenzie. They drafted Khalil Shakir out of Boise State, who a lot of people believe was worthy of maybe a second-round pick. They get him in the fourth round. So, again, if you're thinking about the Buffalo Bills this year in terms of what their offense looks like, I would implore people to strip away the actual titles of receiver, tight end, running back, and just look at this group as a bunch of pass catchers who will all have different roles at different times on the field.
Sal, you mentioned James Cook from Georgia, obviously in round one. Kyrie Elam from Florida. We're very familiar with him in Gator country here in the city of Jacksonville. And you mentioned Cook, what does Kyrie Elam defensively bring to that Bills secondary? Because Gator fans loved what he brought to the table in Gainesville.
Yeah, and I think the Bills are going to change a little bit what they do on defense too. I think we're going to see more man-to-man defense from this team. They're traditionally a really heavy zone team. I think they drafted Kyrie Elam to try and be a little bit more man-to-man. I think they go back to what has happened against Kansas City the last couple of years, and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce maybe having a little bit more of an ability to do that. But they didn't have maybe the guys that they thought they could last year. Levi Wallace was a really good player for the Bills for 3.5 years, but he's moved on. He's gone to Pittsburgh as a free agent. He struggled with you couldn't put him really as a press man guy. He wasn't physical enough, although he was very technically sound. He did a lot of good things. I think they're looking for more of what they have in Tre'Davious White. And Tre'Davious can do a lot of things, but that's the wild card for this team right now. What is Tre'Davious White's health? Let's remember, Ryan, he tore his ACL on Thanksgiving night in November in New Orleans, and he missed the rest of the season. So what does he look like at the start of the season? Is he going to be ready to play? Is he not? Kyrie Elam's either going to start for Tre'Davious White if he's not ready, or I think he's going to start opposite Tre'Davious White if he is ready, which hopefully he will. He's been rehabbing and things are on track. But think about that now. You have Tre'Davious White and Kyrie Elam on each side of the field. I think you can play a lot more man-to-man, a lot more press on your defense now.
Final moments with Sal Capaccio, WGR Radio in Buffalo and the Buffalo Bills Radio Network. Sal, at the top, I brought up Von Miller. The Bills' defense was already very good last year, but as we talked about, 13 seconds. You go draft Kyrie Elam. Prior to that, you bring in a future Hall of Famer in Von Miller to that Bills defense. Huge signing. What does it mean for the Bills in 2022?
Yeah, this is essentially signing what I think they feel is the closer in more ways than one. I think it's short-term, meaning game-by-game closer. You need to play on defense. You now have a guy that can get it. Look back at the Bills' pass rush over the last several years. It's been a decent pass rush, but it's always by committee. They never had a guy. I think the highest amount of sacks they had, 3 years ago, they had Jordan Phillips from the interior at 9.5. Other than that, it's 5 sacks 2 years ago, led the team. 4.5 last year, I think it was, leading the team. I could be wrong, but it's right there, 5-6 sacks at the most. They don't have a guy, double-digit sack guy. They haven't had that in a while. They needed someone to get to the quarterback in those big end-of-game situations, big critical third-down situations, fourth-quarter situations. I think this team believes if they had Von Miller on the team, 13 seconds doesn't happen. They get to Patrick Mahomes. They make something happen before he's able to throw the ball. But I think he's also the closer in the other way, too, which is big picture. This is a team hunting for a Super Bowl. They are the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl. maybe that one player, that one position, that one skill set away has always been getting that great pass rusher that offensive coordinators have to game plan for. And I think they believe that Von Miller is that guy to get them over the hump and win a Super Bowl. And oh, by the way, he is a Super Bowl MVP himself. He has 2 Super Bowl rings. He's going to be great as far as understanding what it takes to get to that point.
Sal, we love having you on because not only are you the sideline reporter, you host programs on WGR. You know the Bills inside and out. You know what that Bills fan base thinks as well. This NFL offseason was insane, and it was insane, a large part of it, in the AFC. You mentioned the Bills are the favorite. I completely agree with you. If there was a move or two somewhere in the AFC that you thought, that could potentially be a problem for us, what was it? Russell Wilson, Matt Ryan, Devontae Adams? Where would the big move in the AFC, in your opinion, lie, Sal, outside of Buffalo?
You know, it's a really good question that I think I'd have one answer for if the schedule was different. Because let me say it this way, Ryan. I think the move I would point to right away would be what the Chargers have done on their D-line by adding Khalil Mack and get in the secondary with J.C. Jackson. What they've done to their defense to complement their offense, I think the Chargers are going to be really, really good and scary. But the Bills don't have to worry about the Chargers until maybe they face them in the AFC Championship or in the playoffs. They're not on the schedule. Only the Chiefs are on their schedule from the AFC West. So all of the moves that the AFC West teams made, they're all going to be better. But I think, believe it or not, in a weird way, it actually helps the Bills because all those teams are going to beat up on each other and giving the Bills maybe more of an opportunity to get the 1 seed because they don't have to lose to those teams in the regular season. They can let those teams play each other twice a year. Those teams are going to play teams from the AFC North and other teams, and the Bills only play the Chiefs. They don't play the Raiders. They don't play the Broncos. They don't play the Chargers. Let them do that. But I do think on the surface, as far as AFC overall, that's probably the move. Khalil Mack, the 2 moves, what they've done on their defense. But I think short term, who the Bills do have to face, it's probably Tyreek Hill going to the Miami Dolphins. Look, Tyreek Hill has hurt the Bills. There's no doubt. I think that's been a lot of how they've kind of viewed themselves and what they have to do in these off seasons as far as their competition. Kansas City, but it's really been a lot of Tyreek Hill. Now he's in their division. They play him twice a year. I don't think it's a coincidence they draft Kyrie Elam. They probably do if the Dolphins don't trade for Tyreek Hill. But I think it helps to say we got to be able to defend this guy twice a year. Now, I don't think the Dolphins are going to threaten the Bills for the AFC East title, but I do think the gap has closed a little bit because of that move.
And real quick, the Jets and the Patriots. The Patriots, look, were a good team last year. We'll see what happens Mac Jones year 2. The Jets at least look improved on paper. How do you think the division plays out? Buffalo 1, Miami 2, New England 3, New York 4?
I'm leaning Miami too. I'm not convinced yet completely because I'm not convinced with the quarterback, right? I mean, I think you still have to see it from Tua. And they have a rookie head coach. I think New England and Miami are going to be right there fighting for that 2 spot. I'm not ready to put Miami above New England. I know a lot of people are. I still think New England with Bill Belichick, Mac Jones, who had a nice year as a rookie last year, they have a lot of depth on their roster, but they're still missing that high-end talent. They're missing those high-end playmakers. Who really... if you had to line up a game tomorrow, who really threatens you on the New England Patriots offense? A defensive coordinator is worried about or devoting their game plan to. And I think that's the issue. Whereas Miami has that now with Tyreek Hill, but do they have the quarterback to throw it to him? And I tell you, I like the path the Jets are on. They're not going to probably even be in the playoffs this year. They're not going to contend against the Bills for first place. But you know what the Jets have? They have a quarterback who I at least saw. Yeah, he made a lot of mistakes. He wasn't great last year. I see a lot of really wild plays like I saw Josh Allen in year 1 when people said, oh, this guy stinks. He can't hit the broadside of a barn. But there were always plays you said, but he makes special plays other people can't make. And I've seen that from Zach Wilson. And I think as long as they support him and they keep building around him the way they are, they have a fantastic draft. I think the Jets are on the right path. They're still the 4th place team in this division, but I think that they're moving up quicker and have an ability in the next couple of years to jump over Miami and New England while those 2 battle for second place.
Sal Capaccio, WGR Radio in Buffalo and the Buffalo Bills Radio Network, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Sal, safe travels, my friend. Really appreciate it. We'll do it again, hopefully in around August or so, right before the season kicks off.
Anytime. You know that, brother. Thank you.
There you go, Sal Capaccio from the Bills Radio Network. And it's interesting, you look at the betting lines in Vegas. Buffalo, clearly one of the betting favorites to bring home the Lombardi Trophy. And Josh Allen, their quarterback, one of the betting favorites to win league MVP. There are high high expectations in Buffalo. What about that division? I mean, I do think it's Buffalo and everybody else, although clearly Miami went out and did a lot this offseason. You know New England's going to be competitive, and I like what the Jets are doing. I agree with Sal. I don't think the Jets are ready to compete yet. The Jets and the Jaguars, to me, very similar. Have both been bad. Jaguars have been bad for a long, long time. The Jets only have been bad recently. But both teams, I think their arrow is pointing up. I do think it's going to take the Jaguars a little bit in the AFC South. It'll take the Jets a little bit in the AFC East, but I like where both teams are. But clearly, to me, it appears Buffalo is the team to beat in that division. We'll go to Miami. We'll go to New York. We'll go to New England the rest of the week. In fact, tomorrow night on Hacker After Dark, my friend Brett Romberg, former Miami Hurricane, former Jacksonville Jaguar, lives in the South Florida area. We'll get Brett Romberg on to talk about what they are talking about in South Florida regarding the Miami Dolphins. We are at halftime, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go on Hacker After Dark. Again, Baldwin Softball coach Jennifer Shields coming up at 11:15. Zig Fracassi of SiriusXM NFL and SiriusXM NHL Radio also coming up around 11:35 this evening. We'll get you updated on Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals in the NBA. There will likely be a Game 5. Does not look like Golden State's going to sweep. Dallas with a big lead in the fourth quarter. We will keep you updated. Coming up next, back into the world of the National Football League. I saw some early betting lines, some early predictions on the Defensive Rookie of the Year. They listed 10 guys that were drafted last month to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Travon Walker and Devin Lloyd of the Jaguars just barely made the top 10. What's up with that? That's next on Hacker After Dark.
Find 1010XL on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram by searching 1010XL and follow the conversation on social media because listening at the dinner table would be rude.
15,000 workers. I'm Brian Rose from Remedy Staffing. We survey 15,000 blue-collar workers each year to better understand what drives quality and dependability in our workforce. The survey shows when looking for a new job, the initial pay rate, job security, and safety while working are the most important factors for hourly workers. If you're an employer and would like to learn more about the voice of the blue-collar worker, please call us at 904-528-1933.
I'm Frank Frangie. The Dailies Walk-Off Charities Golf Classic is right around the corner, and the online auction has gone great. So go to walkoffcharities.com and bid on great items like a trip to Canton to see Tony Baselli's induction and much, much more. That's walkoffcharities.com.
When you get a hankering for something sweet, join us at Woody's Barbecue for a slice of sky-high pie or Mom's banana pudding. Hot Flying Jack O'Brien, take it from me. Come see us at Woody's.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do. Let's eat.
Hicken here for Zero Res. Man, I love living here in Jacksonville where we have so many families who serve or have served in the military, and I'm so thankful for their sacrifice to keep us safe. If you have a family member who is active duty or a veteran, now is the time to call Zero Res. Right now, get a 20% military discount on everything they clean. That's 20% off carpet cleaning, tile and grout, upholstery, and oriental rugs. Zero Res, man. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
This is Hayes Carline from my friends at Claude Nolan Cadillac. Man, I love driving my 2021 CT5. Got it at Claude Nolan Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, right near JTB. And I tell you what, they can take care of any of your vehicle needs. They have great pre-owned Cadillacs. They have great pre-owned cars, not just Cadillacs. They have a huge assortment of pre-owned vehicles from other manufacturers. Check out their website to see their inventory. Go see my friends at Claude Nolan Cadillac. Tell them, hey, sent you, that's important. And begin your lasting relationship at Claude Nolan Cadillac.
Where does weight go when you lose body weight? The answer in 15 seconds.
Is your home your most valuable asset? It is for most of us, and Southern Oak Insurance recommends an annual review. Log on to southernoak.com for more information.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Roughly 85% of weight loss is carbon dioxide breathed out. The rest is water.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
This is Brandon with North Florida Epoxy Floors. Our product gives you a custom high-quality appearance and the longest-lasting finish at a more affordable price. So for your garage, home, or business, research the difference between 100% solids epoxy and the products like polyurea, which can be kinda fishy. Our epoxy includes a moisture vapor barrier, essential in Florida, so your North Florida epoxy floor looks great and is warranted with no fine print. Get a free estimate at northfloridaepoxyfloors.com.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach.
Brooks and Dunn Reboot 2022 Tour.
Oh, play something country.
The best-selling duo of all time, live with special guests Gabby Barrett and King Calloway. Saturday, June 4th, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Brooks and Dunn live.
The 9 after 5 keeps rolling at Southampton. Joe C. inviting you to jump on the tee every Wednesday at the Golf Club of Southampton. Just call 287-PLAY and sign up. We'll give you a little time after work to get there. Always a fun 9-hole game. Chef Gary preparing something nice for afterwards. Prizes and more than anything else. Playing golf with buds and having some suds after. It's the 9 after 5 every Wednesday at the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and get on the tee with Joe C.
Leon Sersa here for QC Kinetics. We're in the most active season of the year right now. But if you have joint pain that you can't live with like you want to, hip pain, knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, sucks the fun out of living. But I've got fantastic news. QC Kinetics is helping people. Here, get their fun back with advanced regenerative treatments for local medical professionals. Regenerative medicine is the hottest thing going right now. It's basically taking growth factors with healing properties from your own body, highly concentrated, then putting them into your aching joints. This exciting in-office non-surgical treatment can repair and restore damaged tissues in your joints, giving you real lasting relief for pain. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in the cutting-edge, all-natural options, and the patient satisfaction reports are incredible. Stop putting it off. Call QC Kinetics now to learn more about the regenerative medicine and get a totally free in-office consultation. Call 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars, WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
All right, so the NBA playoffs look like this. Dallas is destroying Golden State, 99-70. They are entering the fourth quarter. Steve Kerr appears to have thrown out the white flag of surrender. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green all exited the game in the third. I would seriously doubt we will see them in the fourth. Of course, Golden State leads the series 3-0. No NBA team has ever lost a series when up 3-0. Dallas will make it 3-1 tonight. Game 5 back at Golden State, I would guess, on Thursday evening. Of course, the other series, Boston and Miami, they have a huge Game 5 tomorrow. That series tied at 2 games apiece. Really quick, in the National Hockey League, if you're a bandwagon Tampa Bay Lightning fan, boy, you're going to be waiting a little bit to watch them play. They swept Florida last night. They are waiting for the winner of Carolina and the Rangers. Well, the Rangers have evened that series up now at 2 games apiece. So Tampa Bay will be waiting a good little bit here as Carolina and the Rangers now tied 2-2. Game 5 on Thursday back in Raleigh. And Edmonton and Calgary playing right now. Edmonton up 3-2 in that game up in the Western Conference Division of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. All right, the National Football League Defensive Rookie of the Year. Why do I bring this up? Well, it's simple. Here in Jacksonville, they used 3 of their top 4 picks that were all in the top 70 in the draft on defensive guys. And I came across a list that gives rankings, if you will, most likely to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I thought, okay, I'll click on this. Where is Travon Walker? Where is Devin Lloyd? Is maybe even Chad Muma mentioned? And here is what I came across. Number 1 on the list, the most likely to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, Kayvon Thibodeau of the New York Giants. All right. I don't know if I agree with that necessarily, but I hear you. Top, 5 pick was in the conversation for the number 1 pick the entire college football season. Okay. Number 2 on the list, Aiden Hutchinson, Detroit Lions. Likewise. Yeah, okay. Travon Walker and Aiden Hutchinson. I was an Aiden Hutchinson guy. I wanted the Jaguars to take Hutchinson. They did not. They took Walker. I have very little problem with Hutchinson being near the top of this list. I think he's going to be a very good player. Number 3 on this list, George Koloftis, Kansas City Chiefs. This is where you start scratching your head just a little bit. Just a little bit. Again, a very good player. Take nothing away from him. But is he a better odds-on favorite to win Defensive Rookie of the Year than Travon Walker or Devin Lloyd? I don't know. I would tend to doubt it. But I'll keep scrolling. Certainly Walker and Lloyd got to be coming up pretty quick, right? Number 4 on this list, Kyrie Elam. We just talked about him. Former Florida Gator, now with the Buffalo Bills. So wait a minute. Now you're telling me George Koloftis of Kansas City and Kyrie Elam of Buffalo have a better chance of winning the Defensive Rookie of the Year than either of our first-round picks here in Jacksonville. I start exiting the freeway here, but I'm going to keep going down this story. Number 5, Baltimore, Kyle Hamilton, safety out of Notre Dame. Number 6, Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback, Houston out of LSU. Number 7, Ahmad Sauce Gardner, cornerback, New York Jets out of Cincinnati. Number 8, Nick Bonito, edge rusher, Denver out of Oklahoma. And finally, in a top 10 list of Defensive Rookie of the Year candidates, Devin Lloyd comes in at 9, Travon Walker comes in at 10. Whew. I don't know about that. I like Travon Walker an awful lot than to think he's the 10th best defensive player that was taken. I like Devin Lloyd a lot better than to think he was the 9th best defensive player taken. I usually agree with a lot of what CBS Sports does. Do not agree with that. And maybe some of it has to do with a lot of those guys on the other teams that are above Walker and Lloyd. They're going to be playoff caliber teams. That might factor into a Defensive Rookie of the Year, the record that your team has. I kind of understand that. But I got to tell you, I am way, way higher on Travon Walker, Devin Lloyd, and really even Chad Muma than certainly they are with this list of CBSSports.com. And quite frankly, I'm higher on the entire Jaguar defense. I really like what they're assembling. I like what they're putting together. I've told you guys repeatedly, that front seven's going to be nasty, or at least has the potential to be nasty. And it's not just about Josh Allen and Travon Walker, although that's a big part of it. I just look at the bodies they can rotate in and out. From Adam Gostis to DeJuan Smoot, Arden Key to Calebon Chason, Malcolm Brown to Devon Hamilton. All parts in the middle. Roy Robertson Harris at linebacker with Devin Lloyd, with Foye Oluokun, with Chad Muma. Shame on me, I didn't even mention Foley Fatukasi on the D-line, the free agent from the Jets. And then even in the secondary, where I think it's the weakest part of the defense, but having said that, you still got Shaq Griffin. You got a very improved Tyson Campbell. You go out and sign Darius Williams from the world champion Rams. We'll see about safety. Rayshawn Jenkins needs to play better. I'm not totally sold on Andre Cisco yet, but there's no doubt that he did some nice things when given the opportunity last year. Look, I'm not sitting here saying this is the 2000 Ravens or the 85 Bears, but I do think this defense has the potential to be an awful lot better. An awful lot better than what we've seen here in Jacksonville over the last 4 football seasons. Will they be Saxonville of 2017? No. No, I'm not saying that. But they could be the best defense since 2017. And that should be the goal. That should be the expectation. The defense in 18, 19, 20, and 21 was not very good. Your goal should be the best defense since that year in 2017. And hopefully the Jaguars can achieve it. Denmark, you're on your way tomorrow to see Baldwin Softball in the Final Four. We're about to catch up with Coach Jennifer Shields of Baldwin. It's a big deal out there for that program. The Final Four, the first Final Four for Baldwin Softball, 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, the game, I think it was last Thursday against Keystone. There was like 1,000 people at the game. Now, Keystone brought a lot of people, but tomorrow there's a spirit bus of like 100 students. There's going to be no faculty at the school tomorrow as we're going to make the trip all the way down south to Clearmont and hopefully get a win tomorrow.
Let me tell you something. I mentioned this last week. I've seen a lot of celebrations. That Baldwin celebration last week when they got into the state Final Four, the fireworks that were going off at Baldwin High School, the mosh pit that was going on at Baldwin High School, that was pretty cool, man. That's what high school sports is all about. I loved it. And, look, I'm rooting like heck for Baldwin. Any team in Northeast Florida, it'd be great to see them succeed. And Baldwin's not the only softball team from our area that's down there, right? University Christian's down there.
Yep.
I think Middleburg's down there.
Yep.
Even though they're a little bit out of our area of Fort White's down there.
Yep, that's all correct. And UC's playing. They won today. They play tomorrow. I forget the time for the state championship. At Fort White is 2. In Middleburg, I don't know when they play. I think they play tomorrow or Thursday for their semifinal.
Now, give us a lay of the land. Is this like one stadium all these games are happening in, or how's the setup?
Yeah, so I looked at the Google map, and it's like one park essentially, like pretty much like a travel ball park, and there's 4 fields all connected, and they I guess all the games happen at the same time in the afternoon and in the late afternoon too. So Baldwin plays at 2, and Middleburg plays later in the day. So yeah, it's all 4 fields at the same place.
Well, hopefully Northeast Florida will be well represented. Baldwin High School, their first Final Four for their softball program. Their head coach is Jennifer Shields. She will join us next. It is a Tuesday night on Hacker After Dark, Jacksonville. We're glad you're with us right here on 1010XO, 92.5 FM.
You demanded more of us. You demanded perfection. But we have won every single game we have played till now. So this team is perfect. We stepped out on that field that way tonight. That's how we want to leave it.
1010XL.
TrackPhone wants to know, are you an influencer, a big live streamer? No? Then guess what? You don't need an endless data plan. Get just the right amount of data with TrackPhone's new $40 unlimited talk and text smartphone plan. Now with 8 gigs of high-speed data and unlimited carryover on America's largest, most dependable network, now with 5G. Get the data you need at the price you want. TrackPhone Wireless. Now you're in control. Available at major retailers. 5G compatible device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at trackphone.com.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go. Do you have glaucoma or high eye pressure? Dr. Rajesh Shetty of Florida Eye Specialists, alongside the East Coast Institute for Research, is conducting a clinical research study for subjects with glaucoma or high eye pressure. Qualified study participants will receive study-related eye exams at no cost and investigational medication over the course of about 12 months. Study participants may also be compensated up to $150 per visit for approximately 12 visits. If you're between 18 and 84 years old with glaucoma or high eye pressure, visit eastcoastresearch.net for more details. That's eastcoastresearch.net.
Protect your family during hurricane season and find an honest company like Kohler Homes to help you through the process.
Kohler Homes, we have no agenda, and as the preferred choice, we offer all the Florida-approved manufacturers, bringing those options directly to you. We have zero down and zero payment financing options, and we're not like the competitors. No price gimmicks with big discounts. That's a huge red flag. We consult with full transparency, and you choose what's best for your budget. Give us a call for window replacement needs at 904-580-3777 and protect your family by visiting us at KohlerHomesInc.com today.
Oh, the hot weather is on the way, and you'll want to make sure your home's cooling system is ready. Right now, only from Fenwick Home Services, buy a new full cooling and heating system, and Fenwick will install your new system as soon as tomorrow and complete it the same day as your confirmed appointment. Or it's free. Plus, get up to $1,000 off. Call 904-660-0556 or book in seconds at FenwickHomeservices.com/EasyBook.
When you owe the IRS and can't pay, call J. David Tax Law for effective tax representation. Never trust your tax problem to a so-called tax resolution company that doesn't employ attorneys. We are a firm of experienced tax attorneys that has successfully represented over 10,000 clients. Call 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com to schedule a no-cost consultation.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach.
You know what's great about getting older? The toys are way cooler. Spring is here, and it's playtime. Yeah! And One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, has slash loan rates across the board on all the toys. Motorcycles, jet skis, boats, RVs, ATVs, even golf carts. And it's fun and potentially dangerous. One-to-One Financial is the perfect loan to help you finance it. Check out our rock bottom rates and apply now at one-to-onefcu.org. Come out and play. Federally insured by NCUA.
There's a world of difference between and that's why you can trust Famous Automotive and Tire when it comes to your vehicle's care. Because there's a difference between and. It all starts with the triangle of safety. Your tires, brakes, and the front end. Take care of those 3 points and your car will take good care of you. Start at Famous Automotive and Tires. 7 locations servicing every customer like they're famous.
Are you ready to play this summer? Come check out the Y. The First Coast YMCA is not only your home for health and wellness, it's also a place for the kids to explore, to learn new things, and to expand the limits of their imaginations. At the Y Summer Camp, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, and outdoor games. Space is limited, and registration is now open. Visit fcymca.org and search for summer camps. See you at the Y.
Life a little expensive right now? If you need cash, Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach is ready to buy. Gold, silver coins, and flatware, guitars and guns. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn wants to buy them. See Chuck and get extra cash only at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn.
The off-season continues to build, driven by Tire Outlet. Listen for 1010XL's coverage of organized team activities and minicamp. Brought to you by Kohler Homes, Windows, and Doors. The right choice on 1010XL. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the Accident Attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM on a Tuesday night in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Always love giving exposure to high school athletes, high school teams when they are accomplishing great things. And we have a situation like that out at Baldwin High School for the first time in their softball team's history. They are on their way to the state Final Four. They will play Calvary Christian tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Coach Jennifer Shields joins us here of Baldwin. Coach Shields, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm pretty pumped up, so I'm excited.
Well, what a regular season you guys have had. Only 2 losses the entire year. You guys have done very, very well here in the postseason. I saw the celebration. My goodness, the fireworks and everything that happened when you guys won your last playoff game to advance to the Final Four. It's got to be a special moment out there for not only your team, but the entire school and community.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. We're small schools, so a lot of kids play a bunch of different sports for us, and a lot of these kids, their parents went to Baldwin, graduated from Baldwin, and it's just a family atmosphere, and so everybody is just pumped up. The whole school, the community. We had a bunch of alumni. Everybody's fired up.
Coach Shields of Baldwin, the softball program, on their way to the Final Four. They will play tomorrow against Calvary Christian. Coach, I'm looking at the team here, and am I reading this correctly that every player off of last year's squad returned this year? And if that's the case, you must have known, boy, you had a lot of veteran players that maybe this year was going to be a really good year for you guys.
Yeah, we knew going in. We had a really good season last year. We lost to a great Episcopal team in the playoffs, and we knew if we got everybody back that we could do something special. And we got everybody back, and we have a bunch of talent. But the thing they learned from last year is how to play together. And when we play together, and we became a family, they're like, oh, we're going to be pretty special. So. Yeah, it's exciting.
Well, the good thing for you guys, too, is in the playoffs, your 3 games, you've won in different ways. You won 2 really hard-fought games. You had a dominating performance against a really, really good FSU high team. So no matter the situation to this point, you guys have flourished no matter the way the game is going.
Right. We're so tough 1 through 9 that, any given day somebody's going to step up and contribute and do their part, and it just depends what day it is, who's going to do it. We can have a game like we had against FSU and we hit 3 or 4 home runs, or our first playoff game we went on a walk, on a bunt that scored the winning run. So it's exciting for me as a coach to have the talent that we have, so.
Well, and it's a coaching family out there. The last name Shields probably resonates for our Friday Night Lights audience because, you have your husband and your brother-in-law were both have been the football coach and are currently the football coach out there at Baldwin, you being the softball coach. You mentioned the community atmosphere out there. For you as a coach, and you have been a coach for some time, what does it mean when you see a celebration like you saw after the win over Keystone? And like I said, the fireworks and people running onto the field and celebrating. You see the look of your players. That's got to be so unbelievably rewarding as a high school coach.
It is. It was. I kind of stopped and took it all in because a couple of the first people who came and hugged me and the ones who poured the water on me were football players. And so it's exciting because I've watched a lot of these kids grow up from 6th grade to 12th grade, and with my husband coaching football, my brother-in-law coaching football, I'm pretty close with those kids as well. And it's just an amazing feeling for them to have that much excitement for us, and to be able to celebrate with them because, they're part of it too. And it was just awesome. I kind of just stood there and, watched. I celebrated with them, obviously with my girls. And then, my family too was all there. So it was pretty amazing.
I've covered high school football for many years. You don't see a fireworks show like that very often. It was certainly something to watch at Baldwin last week. All right, so give us a lay of the land. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, the game's just north of Orlando, correct?
Yes, it's in Claremont at 2 o'clock tomorrow.
And Calvary Christian is your opponent in the state semifinals. What do we know about them? Obviously, they got to be pretty good to still be playing.
Yeah, they're pretty good, and I've been trying to do some research since last night, and what I know, they had a lot of girls transfer over from I think Castleberry, or they won the 2A title last year against UC, and a lot of those girls are now at Calvary. So they're pretty good. They've won a state title, last year. So they're going to be tough.
I can imagine with the turnout you guys have had for the playoffs. Are there buses going down tomorrow? What's the plan for the fans, the parents, the alumni to make that trip to watch the state semifinal?
So we have a Spirit bus. We do have one charter bus that we've got filled up with students and faculty are going. A lot of the baseball team is a huge supporter, so all those guys are going down, and I think we're going to bring a crowd. We'll have a full charter bus with just students and teachers, and then I think everybody else is planning on driving down So it's going to be big, and I hope, because our girls feed off that. That's, I think, what helped us get through the playoffs is we played all 3 games at home. And the crowds were huge each game, and, I think that's what helped us get through it.
Coach Shields of Baldwin Softball, they are in the Final Four for the first time ever. They have a state semifinal tomorrow at 2 o'clock against Calvary Christian. All right, Coach, as we wrap up here with you, every coach practices the speech, right? It doesn't matter what sport, doesn't matter how long you've been a coach, you got the speech before the biggest game of your coaching career. I would imagine for you, that biggest game will be tomorrow at 2 o'clock. You don't have to give everything away, but what's kind of the gist? What are you going to tell the girls before they take the field tomorrow in the state semifinal?
This is what we've been telling them, all along. That, you got the ability, you got the talent to do it. It's, have fun. First of all, we're big on having fun and just play our game. You play our game, like you said, we're tough to beat. So, and our theme is just do something special. Let's do something special this year and, see if we can keep it going.
Well, Coach, we will be rooting for you 2 o'clock tomorrow. We will certainly keep people updated. If you do win tomorrow, is the state title game, is that on Thursday?
Yeah, it's Thursday at 7 o'clock.
All right, well, let's hope that you remain in the Central Florida area until Thursday night, and hopefully we're talking to you on Friday after a state championship for the Baldwin softball program. Coach Jennifer Shields, Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck. We're rooting for you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all so much.
It's a cool story, Denmark. I know you're fired up. Everybody out there at Baldwin's fired up. Hopefully they can go down there and get the W against Calvary Christian tomorrow. Like we said, University Christian also in the state Final Four, as is Middleburg and Fort White. Dallas is going to win this game in the Western Conference Finals in the NBA, but this has been fascinating. Dallas was up 29 entering the fourth quarter. They pulled their starters. Golden State pulled their starters. Everybody was getting ready to travel back to Oakland for Game 5. And then Golden State started drilling threes. And keep in mind, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry have not played in the fourth quarter. But Golden State has outscored Dallas 32-11 in the fourth quarter, to the point now where it was an 8-point game with 3.5 to go. And then Steph Curry and Golden State came back in. Now, Dallas is still going to win, but good grief, what an unbelievable collapse that almost was by the Dallas Mavericks. They're up 10 now with about 2.5 left. They look like they will hold on to force a Game 5 back in Oakland. As we said, Celtics Heat tomorrow, Game 5. That series tied at 2 games apiece. That'll almost wrap it up on a Tuesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. Again, AFC East continues tomorrow with our division previews. We had Sal Capaccio on in Buffalo tonight. We'll have Brett Romberg tomorrow, the former Jaguar, the former Hurricane. We'll obviously talk about the Miami Dolphins with Brett Romberg. But more so than that, I do want to get into his thoughts on the Miami Hurricanes. I want to get into Brett Romberg's thoughts as well about his former club here in Jacksonville. With Urban Meyer out, with Doug Peterson in, how does he think the Jaguar season will unfold as well in 2022? So we got a ton to do with former Jaguar Brett Romberg. That is coming up on tomorrow night's edition of Hacker After Dark. In the National Hockey League playoffs tonight, the Rangers a 4-1 win over Carolina. That series is now tied at 2 games apiece, and Edmonton still leads Calgary 3-2 in the second period intermission. I guess, Denmark, the big story of the night locally in the world of sports, the Florida Gators win in the SEC tournament in a walk-off fashion. Games tied 1-1 in the 10th. Florida play at the plate. Florida was out. South Carolina, the catcher had the ball, made the tag. The ball came out of his glove when the tag was made, thus making Florida safe. The Gators win. They advance to play Texas A&M tomorrow. Good win for the Gators, but what an ending there in Hoover, Alabama, Denmark.
Yeah, and the game was supposed to start, I think, at like 4 o'clock, and there was lightning in the area, so they had to wait forever. They didn't start till 7:45. Now they play A&M tomorrow, and then now they're into double elimination now. So they're the SEC. Everybody talks about SEC football and basketball here and there, but SEC baseball is the best conference for any sport in the SEC. I mean, you have like 6 teams that could easily win the title, so it's definitely going to be a gauntlet for Florida to get past. But we'll see how it goes for the rest of the tournament.
Well, you see, I mean, Florida had a good record. They were a good baseball club this year. They were the 7th seed in the SEC tournament. To your point, there is terrific college baseball being played in the Southeastern Conference. All right, that'll just about do it. Again, we are happy to have been here tonight as a little bit of a distraction. Obviously, there was terrible events that happened today out in the state of Texas, but if we provided you a little bit of a distraction with the world of sports, we were certainly happy to do that. But there is it needs to be said that we're certainly thinking about everybody out there in the state of Texas. I have a 3-year-old, and I hugged him a little more than maybe I normally would after today's events, and just hope for peace for all those families out there. The drill is in here at 6 a.m. in the morning. We're here at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. 16 hours of local programming coming your way on 1010XL and 92.5 FM until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Have a terrific weekend. We will end the show with Zig Fracassi, Sirius XM NFL, Sirius XM NHL. We'll talk to Zig about the Lightning and about the Jaguars. That's next on Hacker After Dark.
We got a great show for you today.
Join the 1010XL Podcast Network.
A big show.
Now you can find all your favorite 1010XL podcasts in your platform of choice.
A king-size show.
Honestly, this is one of the best jobs I've had.
Drivers and mechanics, listen up. Waste Management is now offering a $5,000 new hire bonus to CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics for job opportunities at our sites in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine.
There's so much more to Waste Management than what you think it is.
Waste Management offers steady work, competitive pay, weekly paychecks, opportunities for overtime, paid training, and a generous boot and tool allowance.
Plus industry-leading benefits, like 100% tuition coverage for you and your family, and your home every day.
The benefits were great. They're the best I've seen in a long time.
CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics apply online today at WM.com/careers. That's WM.com/careers. Search driver and mechanic jobs in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine, Florida.
A people-first, military-friendly, equal opportunity employer.
We are WM.
If you have a family member who is active duty, now is the time to call Zero Res. Hicken here. Right now, get a 20% military discount. That's 20% off carpet cleaning, tile and grout, upholstery, and oriental rugs. Zero Res, man. Spell it forward or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Hey, Scarlion here for Claude Nolan Cadillac, and I have some great news. Vehicles are on the way. That's right. You can expect even more inventory at Claude Nolan Cadillac. Take my suggestion because there is demand. Visit my friends at Claude Nolan and claim the Cadillac you want before it comes in. That way, when it arrives, it's yours. I'm still loving my CT5, and you can too. So get down to Claude Nolan Cadillac today and tell them Hayes sent you. Begin your lasting relationship at Claude Nolan Cadillac off JTB and Southside.
What insect is considered the most efficient hunter? The answer coming up.
It's always a good idea to compare homeowners' insurance rates when it's time to renew. Before storm season, log on to southernoak.com and get an instant quote or find an agent in your area.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The fighter jets of the insect world, the dragonfly, catches up to 95% of their prey.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours. Business owner, entrepreneur, CEO. Get expert help working on your business. Florida State University's Jim Moran Institute in the College of Business is now accepting applications for the Jacksonville Small Business Executive Program. It's designed to help you think differently, to become more efficient in running your business, all at no cost. Classes meet once a month starting mid-August. Find out if you're eligible and apply before July 5th at jmi.fsu.edu. jmi.fsu.edu.
David Garrard here. Once again, Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has gotten me back to my active lifestyle by easing my knee pain with PRP treatment. PRP is a platelet-rich plasma concentrate that promotes tissue repair and healing and can even help alleviate pain caused from arthritis.
Ask your doctor at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist if PRP may be right for you too.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Captain Kevin Favor here, and do you store your boat and boat trailer separately? If so, I want to tell you about Stack'em Storage. They store your boat trailer in a secure warehouse out of the elements, and here's the cool thing. Stack'em Storage will pick up your trailer from you, store it in a secure warehouse, do a 5-point inspection, and deliver it back to you where and when you need it. Call Captain Pat at 962-9605. Use code FAVOR, that's F-A-V-E-R, and get a $50 gift card to Strike Zone. Visit stackmstorage.com.
As a business owner, it can feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Spot On works with local restaurants to get them set up with the technology needed to stay competitive and made specifically for you. Spot On is a cloud-based point-of-sale system that takes orders and payments, but also addresses labor constraints by increasing efficiencies through handhelds and QR code technology. Call me, Jamie Watson, at 333-4325 or email me at jwatson@spoton.com. I'm here to help.
Estate cleanouts, hoarding cleanouts, old appliances, and even tools. There are tons of reasons why you or someone you know may need expert help clearing space. J-Dog Junk Removal will responsibly help you free up space. That means when they leave your place, it looks better. Whether it's you or a loved one that needs one type of clean out at your home, trust the veterans at J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran owned and operated. Call 844-GET-JDOG or visit jdog.com.
This is Brandon with North Florida Epoxy Floors. Our product includes a moisture vapor barrier, essential in Florida, so your new epoxy floor looks great and is warranted with no fine print. Get a free estimate at northfloridaepoxyfloors.com.
Fishing is more fun when you catch something.
Look at that fish!
The Moe's Southwest Grill Fishing Forecast with Captain Kevin Favor.
Big bait catches big fish.
Brought to you by Ring Power. Thursdays at 6 p.m. on 1010XL AM. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line, brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. It is a Tuesday night in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Boy, there is a ton going on. The Jaguars in the midst of their first week of OTAs. And just to our south, our neighbors in Tampa, can you believe what the Tampa Bay Lightning are doing, going to the Eastern Conference Finals in the NHL for the 6th time in the last 8 years, and they have now won 10 straight playoff series. I believe that is only the 4th time in the history of the National Hockey League that has been accomplished. Let's talk Lightning. Let's talk Jaguars with my friend Zig Fracassi. He is a host on SiriusXM NFL Radio. He is also a contributor on SiriusXM NHL Radio. Zig, thank you for the time, my friend. How are you?
Ryan, it's been a few minutes. How you doing, man?
Hey, Zig, I'm good, man. Let's begin down to the south of us in Tampa. You're a hockey guy. And you know, look, the bottom line is the Tampa Bay Lightning are trying to do something that has not been done in 40 years since the Islanders did it in back-to-back Stanley Cups in the early 80s. And they just look like a team that is hitting their stride again at the exact right time.
They sure are. And again, what you're referring to the Islanders, who won 4 straight Stanley Cups, Ryan, and ultimately 19 straight playoff series before Edmonton finally dethroned them, and then they began their run of 4 years and 4 cups in 5 years. So what they've done in the cap era has been absolutely outstanding. Now it's 10 straight series. You know, somebody had a stat yesterday about what Vasilevsky does in closing games, and I referred to it as the Mariano Rivera effect. I mean, he is the absolute closer. And let's not forget, Ryan, they were down 3-2 in the opening series against Toronto, and the Leafs badly outplayed them in Game 6, yet the Lightning win that one, win a grind fest in Game 7, and then now just for laughs sweep the team that won the President's Trophy. So 6 straight wins to be able to clamp it down when they needed to. Now, last night's game, Florida badly outplayed them, and they badly outshot them. But when you've got the world's best goalie, you're allowed to hang around, and then boom, they did get a freakish goal when the puck batted up in the air. Maroon hit it, and then Bobrovsky slid into his own net with it. But still, those are the teams that make the luck. And the fact, too, that they were able to accomplish this without, next to Kucherov, maybe their best forward in Braden Point, that's even more remarkable. So, job well done by John Cooper and his staff there with Tampa, and now they're on to the Eastern Conference Finals, so they'll either play Carolina or the Rangers from there.
It's incredible what's going on, Zig, with the Lightning. And look, Jacksonville, our market, is like any other market near an NHL town. Are they regular season fans? No. But when the Lightning start making noise in the postseason, you'll get the bandwagoners, and that's fine. And a lot of people really enjoy watching Tampa Bay this time of year up in our parts here in Northeast Florida. And it looks to me, and by no means am I a hockey guy, that's why I love your perspective, there are teams that hope to win, and there are teams that expect to win. To me, Zig, Toronto hoped to win. Florida hoped to win. Tampa Bay knew they were going to win. And you can't blame them with all the success they've had as of late.
Yeah, and I think there's something to that. And you can almost say Tampa, Ryan, was in that hoping to win scenario. Let's go back to, 2019. They won the President's Trophy, one of the best regular seasons in NHL history. And what happened? They got swept in the first round by Columbus. So that was a time there that they were kind of hoping to win once again. But what they did was obviously they made some trades. They got a little bit saltier in terms of the grinded type aspect when they acquired Goudreau and Coleman, and ultimately that spurned them to a couple of championships. And those guys are gone now, but they've been able to replenish them a little bit here. Shrewd trades and that instilling the confidence that we know how to win. They have that once again, whereas Toronto, all the skill, Matthews probably going to wind up winning the MVP, but you know what? They cannot close 1-9 in closing games in the playoffs in recent years. And with Florida, they were lucky. I think they got an older and a little downbeaten Washington team in the first round. So it's going to be curious to see what the Panthers do going forward. But Tampa's got that hardened resolve. The leaders lead, and the guys that accompany them, they know their roles and do their jobs. So that's why the Lightning are closer now to a three-peat than anybody thought they'd be.
Zig Fracassi here with us. You hear him as a host on SiriusXM NFL Radio. We'll get to the Jaguars in a moment. You also hear him as a contributor on SiriusXM NHL Radio. Zig, final hockey thought, at least for now. The city of Tampa. I marvel at it. I mean, it's Florida. It's 90 degrees out here right now. But the Lightning have had like 300 consecutive sellouts. Tampa, Florida has become a hockey town, as amazing as that is to say. What's your thought, the hockey, purist thought on the city of Tampa, their success? Because I'm shocked how popular that sport is down there.
Well, you know what? To the outward fan, it might be, but if you really dig a little bit deeper, it's probably not, because for one, when they originally established the franchise, they included Phil Esposito right away. And there was a guy, of course, Hockey Hall of Famer. The old banner in Boston was Jesus saves, Esposito scores on the rebound. So you already had a guy who had a reputation around the NHL. And sure enough, they started to build up some really good drafts with Vinny LeCavalier and Martin St. Louis and all that. And they ultimately, won a Stanley Cup in 2004. So their success came kind of quick. And then they kind of plateaued. But under the watch of Steve Yzerman, you hit on the sort of lottery draft picks with Stamkos and Victor Hedman. So there's been this sort of sustainability there for basically now about 2 decades. So you've got a Phil Esposito to get things started, and then a Steve Yzerman, who I think is going to do some wonders, by the way, rebuilding the Detroit Red Wings. They're already starting to do that. But the point being is if you've got solid management, of course the ownership, and you hit on those draft picks, Ryan, it's not really surprising that they've sustained this success for the better part now of 2 decades. And, oh, by the way, the NCAA loves it because they've had 2 Frozen Fours down there, too, even though there's not even a Division I team in Florida. It goes to show you how much impact the Tampa community has not only in the pro hockey, but the NCAA hockey, too.
Zig, who do the Lightning want to see? The Rangers or the Hurricanes in the Eastern Finals?
Oh, boy, both of them are going to be tough outs. I really think that. Boy, you know, I would probably say the Rangers just by the slimmest of margins because, you know, Carolina's got some guys who've been around, who've been in the playoff thick, and it seems to me that because of their speed and because of the way that they can play the two-way game, the Lightning would probably have more of a challenge with Carolina, whereas the Rangers, at times they struggle a little bit to score goals. You know, their top line has struggled a little bit in this series thus far, and they are quite young, other than a guy or two that's been on a Stanley Cup team. So I would think both of them are very tough, but I would probably a slight lean on the Rangers than the Canes.
Zig Fracassi not only can be heard on Sirius XM NHL, he hosts a program on Sirius XM NFL. All right, Zig, in the time we have left, let's get into the Jaguars. Week 1 OTAs. They're actually on the field doing some things. It's been a long time coming. It's hard to believe it was only 8 months ago that Urban Meyer was here in Jacksonville with all the promise of the 2021 season kicking off, and those hopes and dreams were shattered very quickly last year. Now Doug Peterson, all the free agents, the draft picks, you as a national guy, your observation on what you feel Jacksonville did this offseason.
Well, you know, it's funny. Alex Marvez from AEW Wrestling and, of course, Late Hits and good friend, we do shows regularly on the weekend, and he's of the belief, Ryan, that of all the teams that were, you know, if you will, bad the previous season, I maybe shade towards the Jets a little bit, but he believes, and I can see his point, that Jacksonville did a ton in terms of the draft. Obviously, you draft Walker, number 1 overall. I mean, his athletic ability, Ryan, is just off the chains. I mean, he's fast enough. He can play safety. That's how good he is, even though as big as he is. So it's going to be interesting how he's going to be utilized in the defense. And their draft overall, again, on paper, you know as well as I do, that it'll probably take a good 2 to 3 years to develop. But, you know, Walker, the Georgia kid, I thought was very, very good. And then you look at the free agency, and, you know, I think they raised a few eyebrows, spending a ton of money on Christian Kirk. But sometimes you have to overpay to get guys to go to teams that maybe they wouldn't want to, or a situation where it's like, why would they go there? But you know, he's a guy that I think he's out of Arizona now with Lawrence. I think that's going to be a pretty nice tandem. Ingram, you know, being based up here near New York City, he was kind of the scapegoat for a lot of Giants fans because he's got a world of talent, but he couldn't stay on the field because of injury concerns. But I think that's a good little prove-it deal. Brandon Sheriff is probably the best free agent guard out there, late of Washington. And then Alua Khan, I love that kid. He had a monster year with Atlanta this past year on defense. And then, obviously, you know, some of the other additions that they've made. Devin Lloyd, big fan of the Utah football program. This kid's very, very good. So, all in all, Ryan, I'm not going to guarantee Super Bowl or maybe even playoffs, but, man, with this roster that they have now and obviously Trevor Lawrence, you know, learning the ropes now into his second year, I could see maybe 6-7 wins, and even in the losses, if you're competitive, to me, that would probably be a good gauge that everything's on the right track. And obviously, you got a Super Bowl coach with Doug Peterson, a guy who probably relates a lot better to the pro players than Urban Meyer did. So I think things are on the ascend in Jacksonville. I want to see it because, you know, it wasn't all that far, long ago that they were a quarter away from getting to their first Super Bowl against New England. So hopefully they can get things turned around rather quickly.
And it's just nice, Zig, being down here. The nonsense appears to be over. I mean, it was every day last year that some big thing was breaking and Urban was doing this or a player was doing that, and it just became exhausting. You don't hear much anymore. You just hear about football, which is nice. It's so refreshing. As we wrap up here with you, know you're busy, know you got to get going to Madison Square Garden. Maybe the craziest NFL offseason, Zig, we've ever seen. I mean, it was every day that Hall of Famers were switching teams, from Devontae Adams to Tyreek Hill to Matt Ryan to Russell Wilson, Khalil Mack, Chandler Jones. It goes on and on and on. Is there one or two moves that happened over the last 4 months that you think was clearly bigger than anything else we saw this offseason?
Well, I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of those. I mean, it was really one of those, and I've been watching either as a fan or in the media, Ryan, for, over 45 years now, and I don't ever remember, maybe other than when free agency was first implemented after the 93 season, that there was truly free agency, that my head was kind of spinning around then. Boy, you mentioned Tyreek Hill, and I mean, they paid a king's ransom, Miami did, to get him and giving up all those draft picks. And that, to me, shows that they're hitching their wagons on Tua. So hopefully, for that young man's sake, and they also upgraded the line, so I thought that was a big one. But I think the biggest one, obviously, was anytime you get a guy who's got Super Bowl experience and probably Hall of Fame pedigree like Russell Wilson, and to make that trade like Denver did, I think that showed a lot of moxie for the Broncos, a team that, not that far removed from a Super Bowl, but at the same time, they're also going through an ownership change. You wonder, the fans start to lose interest a little bit, and here they are, and they gave up a king's ransom to get Russell Wilson, but maybe now they finally got the guy to replace Peyton Manning, who seemed like was the guy to finally replace John Elway after all those years. So to me, to see Russell now in Denver, and oh, by the way, Ryan, open his Denver career where it played in Seattle on the opener, Monday night game of the year, my gosh, you talk about theater, that's certainly it. And if, they get any semblance of quarterback play from Russell, Denver's right in there, and I think what's the most competitive division in football is the AFC West.
It was an absolutely incredible offseason. OTAs are here. That means we are creeping ever closer to the start of the 2022 regular season. Zig Fracassi, always kind enough to join us. SiriusXM NFL. You also hear him on SiriusXM NHL. Zig, thank you so much for the time. As the Lightning continue advancing, let's maybe do this again in a week or two. We'll see where we stand there. But again, thank you, brother. We'll do it again real soon.
Anytime, Ryan. Thanks for thinking of me.
Starting the day with sports.
You can't beat me.
You are a laughingstock.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Because I'm a winner.
You are a joke.
Mornings.
I'll always be a winner.
These people are laughing at you.
On 1010XL.
You have no ability, nothing.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter